My phone vibrated against the marble counter. Once, twice. Then it kept going. I watched the screen without touching it. The name flashing again and again. Clara. 71 missed calls. Desperation has a rhythm. And hers was frantic. I finally picked it up. Her voice came out cracked, breathless. Where are you right now? I looked through the glass wall of the villa. The Alps stood silent beyond the terrace. Snow catching the late sunlight like diamonds scattered across stone. My wine glass rested untouched beside me. Calm, quiet, expensive. Everything she thought I had lost. I'm exactly where I planned to be, I said. Silence. Then anger. You embarrassed me in front of everyone. Her voice broke again. My family, my friends. The whole baby shower. I closed my eyes. I could still see her face from earlier that afternoon. The moment the projector turned on. The moment the room stopped breathing. The moment her perfect little world collapsed. You did that to yourself, I replied quietly. Her breathing sharpened. You ruined my life. I leaned back in the chair. No, I thought. You started that war months ago. Today, I just ended it. It began with something small. Betrayal usually does. A message that disappeared too quickly. A smile that lingered a second too long when she checked her phone. Clara had always been theatrical. Loud emotions, loud opinions, loud entitlement. My son married her anyway. Love makes intelligent people blind. Then came the pregnancy announcement. 3 months after the wedding. She made it a spectacle. Cameras, balloons, a pink cake she cut while crying dramatically. My little miracle, she called it. Everyone applauded. Everyone believed her. Except me, because I saw the look, a glance exchanged across the room. Between Clara and Daniel, my son's best friend, most people miss those moments. I don't. Years in corporate law teach you to read micro-expressions better than contracts. Guilt has a face, and I saw it. Still, suspicion is not proof. So I smiled. I hugged her. I congratulated them both, and I began watching, quietly, patiently, because truth always leaks eventually. You just have to let the cracks widen. I didn't confront anyone. Emotion is sloppy. Evidence is clean. So I collected it. First came the phone records. Not difficult when you know the right people. Clara and Daniel spoke more than Clara and my son. Late nights, long calls, suspicious silences. Then the hotel receipts appeared. Same weekends my son traveled for work. Same locations. Different rooms booked under different names. But the security footage didn't lie. They always walked in together. I remember watching that footage in silence. 2 silhouettes entering the elevator, her hand resting on his arm. Casual, comfortable, familiar. Not the body language of a mistake, the body language of a habit. Still, I needed certainty. Pregnancy complicates things, but science has little patience for lies. A private prenatal DNA test solved that. The results arrived in a sealed envelope. I opened it alone. No shaking hands. No dramatic gasps. Just numbers, percentages, probability, 0% paternal match. My son was not the father. I sat there for a long time. Not angry. Not even surprised. Just cold. Because betrayal is one thing. But what Clara had planned? That was something else entirely. She wanted my son to raise another man's child. She wanted access to the family wealth. And eventually, she planned to destroy him in court. Alimony, child support, half of everything. It was all there in the messages she sent Daniel. They thought encryption made them invisible. It didn't. And the more I read, the calmer I became. Because revenge works best when the enemy believes they're winning. I didn't expose her immediately. That would have been too easy. Instead, I waited for the baby shower. Her idea. Of course. Clara adored an audience. 200 guests. Friends. Relatives. My son's entire side of the family. She stood at the center of the room wearing white. Pregnancy glowing. Acting like royalty. I just want to thank everyone for supporting our beautiful family, she said. I watched my son beside her. Proud, happy, completely unaware. That was the only moment that hurt. But truth demands timing. When the speeches ended, I stood. Calmly. I prepared a small surprise, I said. Clara smiled. Of course she did. She assumed it was another gift. The projector turned on behind her. The first slide appeared. Hotel footage, then call logs, then screenshots. Then the DNA report, one by one. Slow, unavoidable. The room went silent. Clara's smile cracked, then vanished. She turned toward the screen, then toward Daniel, then toward my son. Her mouth opened. No words came out. I spoke only once. The child isn't my son's. The silence that followed felt like gravity collapsing. Chaos erupted around her. Questions, gasps, whispers spreading like wildfire. Daniel tried to leave. My lawyer stopped him at the door. Yes, I brought one. Preparation is a form of respect. Clara walked toward me slowly, her face pale. How could you do this to me? She whispered. Interesting question. I tilted my head slightly. You planned to ruin my son's life. She shook her head violently. That's not... I raised a hand. The projector switched to the final slide. A screenshot of her messages. Clear, undeniable. Once the baby comes, the divorce will bankrupt him. Her voice died in her throat. My son stared at her like he was looking at a stranger. Because he was. I stepped closer. Quiet enough that only she heard me. You wanted a stage. I paused. So I gave you one. Then I walked away. No shouting. No drama. Just the quiet collapse of everything she built. Hours later, I boarded the flight to Switzerland. My son would recover. Truth hurts, but lies destroy. Better the clean wound. The villa is quiet tonight. Snow falling across the mountains. My phone finally stopped ringing. Clara ran out of excuses. Ran out of allies. Ran out of dignity. And when I posted a single photo of this place online, the calls started again. 71 of them. Begging, accusing, crying. I never answered. Because revenge isn't loud. It's precise. It's patient. And when it's done correctly, you don't feel anger. You feel silence. I lifted my glass and looked out at the frozen Alps. Some people destroy themselves with greed. Others just help the truth arrive sooner. Tonight, I simply watched it happen.